And unfortunately, during the pandemic, there was just so much going on and so much pressure on my shoulders. And I essentially was acting as the executive director of this organization. And I was like, this is not the vision. The vision wasn't for me to be an executive director of my own nonprofit. That was not the vision. The vision was for me to build this bad boy, raise enough money to hire an executive director to run the organization. And I was just going to be the chair of the board. That was really the vision, but it wasn't going in that direction. And the pandemic definitely slowed that down a bit. And it became extremely overwhelming. And I had to make a very difficult decision. And the decision was that I was going to take a step back from growing the Female Collaborative at the rate that we were growing, because I wanted to focus on other revenue generating activities. You know, the Female Collaborative wasn't really, we were making money, but it was being reinvested back into the organization. And I needed to shift priorities. My business was suffering as a result. My clients weren't getting the most out of me because I was putting so much attention on the Female Collaborative. And so I had to make the difficult decision of letting the team know, like, hey, unless one of you want to step up as the executive director and take this bad boy to the next level, I'm going to stop this. And it was really hard. It was really hard because all of us were invested. All of us loved the Female Collaborative. All of us loved what we built. And all of us were really excited about the future for the Female Collaborative, but I no longer could be the leader that they needed me to be in that capacity, and I needed to choose me. I needed to choose me in that moment, which was another big lesson with collaborations. You know, sometimes it's difficult to make the decision to walk away from something, especially if it was your baby, and especially if you put so much sweat and tears and energy into that bad boy. It's hard to let go. And also because, you know, you have these partners that are on the journey with you, and now you're dipping, like you gotta choose you. And it was really, really difficult. And for a long time, it really weighed me down. For a long time, it made me feel like, am I making the right decision? Is this smart? Like, we built this incredible community behind the Female Collaborative. Does it make sense for me to stop this now? And I really questioned myself a lot during that time and thought about what would come of this. And if I was going to be able to essentially recover, right? Recover from this. Because to be honest, guys, I was very much still carrying the hurt that came from the first disruption of the team when the TFC was originally born. Like, that really hurt me. That experience really, really hurt me because I thought, you know, we were sisters, and I thought that, yeah, we tussled a little bit, but so what? We move on. We continue to build. Like, the vision is bigger than us. But that wasn't the case. So I was still carrying that. Then to have all this responsibility on my shoulders with this organization, be the leader, have to show up for people in a way that required so much of me during a time where the world was literally melting around me. And I'm an extrovert, so I could no longer go outside. I was no longer getting the energy to fuel me. I was no longer able to hit the reset button because I was stuck in my house. And mentally and emotionally, I just couldn't do it anymore. So I had to be honest with myself, and it was a difficult decision, but that's what happened. So for those of you who have been around since the beginning of the Female Collaborative and you were wondering, well, why'd you guys slow down? Like, there was so much activity. That's why. That is why. So essentially what the Female Collaborative has become, because we still exist, we dissolved the membership. So we no longer have a membership in the Female Collaborative. We still have a very amazing community that supports us, however. But now we run an annual event. And that annual event has graduated to the Secure the Big Bag and Wellness Summit. And we're about to have our 7th one. So I've been doing this annual women's event, guys, for 7 years. The branding has shifted, but the goal is still the same. Right? Create spaces for women to collaborate, to make money, and to be themselves.